lovely viewers. You are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this lesson, we shall be discussing the detailed analysis of A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us assure you of a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. Lorraine Hansberry, as a child, lived in the black neighborhood of Chicago's South Side with her well-educated parents. Her parents were successful blacks who publicly fought discrimination against black people. During this era of segregation, the enforced separation of whites and black was still legal and widespread throughout the South. Northern states, including Hansberry's own Illinois, had no official policy of segregation, but they were generally self-segregated along racial and economic lines. Chicago was a striking example of a city carved into strictly divided black and white neighborhoods. Hansberry family became one of the first to move into a white neighborhood, but Hansberry still attended a segregated public school for blacks. When neighbors struck at them with threats of violence and legal action, the Hansberry defended themselves. Hansberry's father successfully brought his case all the way to the Supreme Court. Hansberry wrote that she always felt the inclination to record her experiences. At times, her writing, including A Raisin in the Sun, is recognizably an autobiography. This is why the play is categorized under the genre of realistic drama. She was one of the first playwrights to create realistic portraits of African American life. Written in New York in 1957, A Raisin in the Sun was first published on March 11, 1959 at Ethel Barrymore Theatre. A Raisin in the Sun was not destined to be successful. With only one white cast member, an inexperienced director, and an untried playwright, Hansberry had difficulty finding financial backing for the play at a time when the theater audience were overwhelmingly white. When it opened, it met a great praise from white and black audience alike. After several tours, it opened on Broadway, making it the first ever Broadway play written by an African American woman. Arguably, the first play to portray black characters, themes, and conflicts in the natural and realistic manner. A Raisin in the Sun received the New York Drama Critics Circle Award for Best Play of the Year. Hansberry was the youngest playwright, the fifth woman, and the only black writer at that point to win the award. She used her new fame to bring attention to the American civil rights movement as well as African struggle for independence from colonialism. Her promising career was cut short when she died from cancer in 1965 at the age of 34 years. A Raisin in the Sun can be considered a turning point in American art because it addresses many important issues during the 1950s in the United States of America. The play is set in the aftermath of the Second World War. A Raisin in the Sun portrays a few weeks in the life of the youngest, an African American family living in the south side of Chicago in the 1950s. The younger family is facing its own war against racism in the Chicago slums. America's complicated history of racial discrimination between black Americans and white Americans is ingrained into the youngest everyday life. The single mother and grandmother, Lena Younger, her daughter, Benita, and his son, Walter, plus his wife, Ruth, and their son Travis squeezed into a rundown two-bedroom apartment. According to our account, that's about 5 people living in a space built for 3 people. Not only do these characters feel confined in their physical home space, they also feel restricted by the social roles they have been assigned to. For example, socially progressive Benita studied to become a medical doctor despite the financial strain it puts on the low-income family. Walter works as a chauffeur for a white man, but he dreams of opening a liquor store with his buddies and making more money for his family. The play opens with a younger family about to receive an insurance check of $10,000. This money comes from their deceased father, Mr. Younger's life insurance policy. Each of the adult members of the family has an idea as to what he or she would like to do with this money. The matriarch of the family, Mama, wants to buy a house to fulfill a dream she shared with her husband. Mama's son, Walter Lee, would rather use the money to invest in the liquor store with his friends. He believes that the investment will solve the family's financial problems forever. Walter's wife, Ruth, agrees with Mama. However, she hopes that Walter can provide more space and opportunity for their son Travis. Finally, Benita, Walter's sister and Mama's daughter, wants to use the money for her medical school tuition. She also wishes that her family members were not so interested in joining the white world. Benita instead tried to find her dignity by looking back to the past and to Africa. As the play progresses, the youngest clash over their competing dreams. Ruth discovers that she is pregnant, but fears that if she has the child, she will put more financial pressure on her family members. When Walter says nothing to Ruth's admission that she is considering abortion, Mama puts a down payment on a house for a whole family. She believes that a bigger, brighter dwelling will help them all. The house is in Cyborn Park, an entirely white neighborhood. When the youngest tuition neighbors find out that the youngest are moving in, they send Mr. Lindner from the Cyborn Park Improvement Association to offer the youngest money in return for staying away. The youngest refuse the deal, even after Walter loses the rest of the money, which is $6,500, to his friend, Willie Harris, who persuades Walter to invest in the liquor store and then runs off with his cash. In the meantime, Benita rejects her suitor, George Murchison, who she believes to be shallow-minded, a person who is blind to the problems of the blacks. Subsequently, she receives a marriage proposal from a Nigerian boyfriend, Joseph Asagai, who wants Benita to get a medical degree and move to Africa with him. Benita does not make a choice before the end of the play. When a white man, Carl, comes to buy out youngest new house, Walter figures that giving in to the man is the only way to get some money for his family. In the play's climactic moment, Walter decides between standing up for his family's rights and standing up for his ego and role as the breadwinner of the family. Fortunately for the youngest, and for the Broadway history, Walter sides with his family rights and declines Carl's offer. The family will move into their new home to fulfill their family's long-held dreams. The play closes with the family leaving for their new but uncertain future. But they are, however, optimistic and determined to live a better life. They believe that they can succeed if they stay together as a family.